If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's October 19th, 2020. And today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, just one of it really, gold staying the course and getting stronger as we get closer to the end of October, beginning of November. Now, looking at the economic events of the day, just one event coming out of the United States at 2 p.m. South African time. Fed Chairman Powell will be speaking. Not anything specific, but we do want to know it's coming out. And then all day today, as a side note, OPEC will be having its meetings today, so it should affect the price of oil. Now, looking at the markets in the currencies, the dollar continues to gain modestly versus the major pairs, while we're looking at the Nasdaq still showing some tremendous weakness reflective of the FANG stocks as they go into earnings season. Now, Dow Jones bounces, but the question is how much further. In terms of the commodities, gold staying the course as it bounces above that 1900-ish level to 1910. Oil pretty much unchanged. Lastly, as I mentioned, FANG stocks have been taking a step backwards right before earnings as we go into this week and next week's major earnings from major corporations, the Apples, the Netflix, the Googles, all coming out with earnings as we unfold. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trade. So we're going to be starting here with the Euro USD at a daily chart, and you can see pretty much we're at that 117.08-ish level, just shy of 1700. Now, I mean, we descended below our support level, 117.60-ish level, and we're just below it, okay? Nothing to really write home about at this stage, okay, because we have been in a pretty much tight range, okay? Now, this is ultimately everybody awaiting what's going to happen in the United States November 3rd as the election actually happens. Now, looking at GBP USD, same story, trading at that bottom level, 129. Now, something that is near and dear to us, okay, with the South African Rand. Now, if you look at here, okay, I've been watching this very, very carefully. I haven't always mentioned it, but if you look over the past 3 months, we were setting ourselves up for a descending wedge, which means we should break down the 1641, which means the Rand will get stronger versus the USD. Now, this is despite the fact that the South African government has gotten clobbered, not just because of COVID, even before COVID. So, you know, something to consider as this is getting stronger with the price of gold also getting stronger. Okay, so something to consider. Keep this on your radar because if it does break it, it will breach it with some momentum. Now, looking at gold, you can see every time we hit this trend line, we bounce off of it, and that was sure enough this morning. We were trading at 1901. And we just jumped to 1910, just pushing that higher. Okay, so something to consider again as we're going into the earning seasons, as we're going into the elections. Now, looking and jumping into oil, you can see pretty much nothing new here. Okay, just buy the bottom, okay, which is 39-ish level, and just sell the top, which is 40-ish level. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, you can make money all day long with this. Okay, just buying it on the, you know, once it gets closer to its support and then selling it off at resistance and flipping the trade. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, you can see that we're slightly up this morning. Okay, nothing really to write home about as we're trading at 28,567. Now, remember, we're off of our all-time highs of only 800 to 900 points. So really, you know, something to consider as we're making, you know, into this stratosphere here. Now, they may pump this up right before the elections in order to make it strong, you know, in case it does retrace. Now, looking at the Nasdaq, which is right here. Okay, Nasdaq is not trading as strongly. Okay, and that's really reflective of the fact that if we look at Amazon and we look at Apple, they took a beating last Friday. Apple down to 117 from its 123 height. If we look at Amazon, also down to 3,269 after hitting 3,500, okay, which was almost a double top for all intents and purposes. But they're trading altogether. They're trading with the index. Okay, so I don't want to say that there's excessive weakness in these FANG stocks, because they are trading together with the index. Okay, now looking at Microsoft, also giving up a little bit at 218, but if you look at it, okay, it's all seems to be the same type of graph because they're all hitting that 213. Like, look, if I draw this, okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. If I draw this, you see the higher high, but not the higher high. And this may be a point where we actually take it further down. Now, if we look at some of the others, okay, let's take a look at the Nasdaq, okay? Same story, right? We hit this high right over here, came in, and boom, okay? Didn't make that higher high, all right? So this has been repeating itself. If we now look at Amazon as well, you could see that as well, okay? Hitting that higher high right here, retracing, and then at that next time, it didn't go up. So it's trading exactly like the index, okay? So there's no relative weaker strength in one particular stocks, okay, than the general market, okay? Which means that everything is trading on par, so I don't see any massive kind of indication that, you know, we're going to go down or we're going to go up, okay? I think that everybody's just hesitant to just jump in all at the same time, just because they're waiting to see what's going to happen with the earnings review. So that's something to consider as we go into today's trading and this week's trading. JP Morgan still relatively strong above this 100 level, okay, but again, didn't break that previous trend line, which was our support, which is subsequent resistance, and sure enough, we faltered right below it, okay? So if we do see some selling pressure in the markets, it will definitely reflect itself, okay? So something to consider as we go into the next 2.5 weeks before the election. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.